Your engagement ring or wedding band is something you're going to wear on your body forever. So shouldn't you choose something that is meaningful and unique for both of you?
Hi everyone, it's Ruben and Polly, wedding photographers based in the French Alps. This week we are driving to Chamonix to meet a jewellery maker who is based at the foot of the Mont Blanc. He's going to show us how he creates one-of-a-kind, personalized wedding rings which are inspired by glaciers.
We love that these designs combine your unique story with nature fingerprint. They're perfect for anyone who is passionate about nature, adventure and the mountains, or for anyone considering a destination wedding in the Alps.
Hi Ruben, how are you, man?
Good,
Yeah,
good to see you.
Good to see you too. I would describe as being quite very raw, very rustic, very natural, organic, very of the earth, almost quite abstract pieces really. I don't really do much of the work here. The glacier is what does the work. All I do is try and capture a moment in the life of that glacier. And they've taken 25,000 years to get to this point. And you know, we hear these glaciers during the day, you can hear them carving, you see them at night, and they're quite an eerie sound to them, especially if you don't know it's there. You hear a big crash in the middle of the night. It's quite a humbling feeling, really. And obviously living in London, you don't have that. The kind of concept and the narrative of the work, I had to be out here. And we came to live out in the French Alps, just outside Chamonix. That's where my family are from, North Wales, Anglesey. Yeah, born in London, but then moved to Wales when I was 1, grew up there. I didn't study as a jeweller, I studied as a sculptor. And I understood the principles of working with metal. I taught myself as I went along. I had no idea, really, how to make a ring. Friends still can't really believe that I'm making jewellery. After my MA show, the curator said to me, would you like an exhibition here? I was like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely. She was like, okay, well, you've got a month. Obviously, I had no idea what I was going to show. For some reason, Glaciers kind of came to mind. A lot of friends have been out here. I'd been out here as a kid and stuff. Because they're this huge, majestic force that kind of etches their way through the landscape. So I'd go up to the glacier. I found my way onto the glacier with a friend of mine who knew what he was doing. I had no idea what I was doing on the ice. We got there, we painted on the mould onto the ice, and then we had to come back the next day to collect it because it took 24 hours to set. Hopefully it was going to work. So woke up in the morning as a storm had come in and all the lifts up to the Medeglace were closed and there was no one around. So we walked up and then again hiked down this kind of avalanche risky area where everyone was saying don't walk, but we had to because I was going back to the UK the next day, so I had to get these moulds to see if they would work. We got there the next day, our GPS located them so we could find them because there was a slight dusting of snow. We found it and the glacier had shed the actual mould ever so slightly, and preserving and capturing a moment in time fixed to this glacier. I was like, oh my God, yeah, amazing, it's worked. Superb, let's take this back to the studio and take them to The Hague and work on them. I'd cast these sculptures in pigment and put them on the wall, and the night of the exhibition, one of them fell off. I remember the sound of it, just smashed everywhere, and then disaster, kept the door closed, didn't let anybody in. And then we were cleaning up the pieces, and I picked up one of the sections of the sculpture. I thought, oh my God, wouldn't that make a beautiful piece of wearable sculpture, like necklaces and pendants? Why do the sculptures have to be on the wall in a gallery space, in a white room that only gets a certain amount of people in? That's how it all started, really. Still trying to communicate the same idea and same narrative of belonging in a landscape, you know, and kind of respecting your environment and at one with your environment. But this is more interactive, it's more kind of more personal. I'm currently working on a wedding ring using the mould from the Medeglace to create the ring. This is just a section of the white ring in white gold. It's going to be polished and then finished. And the detail comes from this mould here, which is from the Medeglace. I think it came from around here, the mould probably. It's a mould that was taken back in 2015. So the ice and the textures that will be on the ring are preserved from a glacier quite a few years ago now. And obviously the ice will have melted in that spot now and will have receded significantly. So what they'll be left with is a print of something in the past, something that can never be seen again or touched by anybody else. The reason why the Medeglace is that's where the client wanted the work to come from. You know, typically I've got glasses lots from Medeglace, from the Bosson Glacier, some from Italy. This is from North Wales, actually, the striations. So each one of these lines here is like a timeline in the life of the glacier also. So this is what the ice looked like in this specific section of the glacier back in 2016, the summer. Iceland back in 2018. And the Argentière Glacier. I then take a mould, then wax because this is a negative. You've got to pour wax into this, I build a little wall around it, and then you're left with the positive. So then you take that off and you chop it up into a section, and then you cast that in silver or gold. Wedding rings came about quite organically. People found out that I was making them from the glacier, so would you mind making us a wedding ring? Could we come to the glacier with you, take a mould, and you know, we'll open a bottle of champagne and we'll celebrate the moment of taking this mould from the ice. So you've got something completely and totally unique. That essence of the glacier is preserved in each one of the pieces. So they always want to have a direct relationship with, again, their landscape and their environment and this moment that they had up in the mountains where they were kind of on their own. It was peaceful, really tranquil, surrounded by these immensely powerful forms of nature. And to take that away, not in a disrespectful way, but to kind of like appreciate it and have it outside of the world that you once were. So if you're in a city or whatever, you've always got something to ground you, something to remember what's really important to a certain extent. You know, it's always there on your body. And I love that. I love that kind of approach. So I really like having a conversation with the person that wants the ring done, not just buy it online and then just hope for the best. It's more of a, I want you to be involved. You know, it's going to be your ring. I want you to tell me something or tell me a story, and then we can work on a ring. The concept happened quite naturally. I was speaking to the guy I was going to propose, and he was like, Sev, I want to work on a ring. And it was the walks that they did together in the summer. These walks meant a lot because it's kind of how they got to know each other. And I said, oh my God, just send me these walks that you did so I can see the route that you took up the mountain. And I was like, oh my God, the beautiful curvature of these kind of alpine walks would work really well as a ring. I started to kind of like play around with them. I would pour wax over the locations that they walked and turn that into a ring, therefore capturing a moment in that walk. It was the engagement ring and the wedding band then. And for the wedding band, they'd recently been to Iceland. You know, I send the moulding equipment out to them. They went to a glacier in Iceland and took a mould from the surface of the ice there, brought it back to me, and that's where I created their wedding bands from. Their groomsmen or the bridesmaids would typically make some necklaces or bracelets. A lot of the time, groomsmen would want like a gift to give, so they would give them like a cuff. This is actually argentium, which is pure silver, so it's hypoallergenic, and these are 9-carat gold. And all the packaging is compostable or biodegradable, because I want to make it as green as possible. That's why the techniques I'm using, there's no heavy machinery involved in the making of the jewellery. It's all me with my hands here in the studio. You know, because I think that's really important nowadays. It's all well and good if you want to, you know, start an idea, have it all shipped off and exported and imported from another country. But I wanted it to be completely of the craft of the place, to capture the essence of where it's all being made as well. You know, if you want to see where your ring is made, it's made here. So each piece comes with cotton duck, 12-ounce canvas, and then in 50 years' time, you'll see where exactly your ring comes from. Once you wear it, and once you pass it down to somebody, maybe 50 years, 100 years, people look at it and go, what is this kind of quite abstract, quite gestural sculpture you have, or what are you wearing? So you can type the coordinates into Google, and Google will do its thing and zoom down onto the glacier. And of course, by then there'll be no glacier there, so you're left with something completely unique that will never be seen again.